My name is Teresa, and I am the clerk of today's ceremony. On behalf of the Government of Canada, I welcome you all to your citizenship ceremony. This ceremony will be held predominantly in English, based on the language preference of today's candidates for citizenship, and will be presided by Captain Retired Richard Dumas. Captain Dumas is a military veteran of 42 plus years, including 11 foreign and domestic operations. Among military medals and commendations, Rick has been invested into the Order of Military Merit. For his extensive volunteerism within several communities, he has been awarded the Sovereign's Medal for Volunteers, the 125th anniversary of the Confederation of Canada Medal, the Queen's Diamond Jubilee Medal, the Queen's Platinum Jubilee Medal, the Vice Regal Commendation, the Minister of Veterans Affairs Commendation, and presented with a personal Hansard by the Legislative Assembly of Alberta. Rick was one of 4 committee members for the Edmonton City Hall Cenotaph Rededication Project, whereby Afghanistan was engraved and ceremonially unveiled. He played a supporting role in bringing home 12 Afghans to Canada as Kabul was getting overrun. Today's ceremony is hosted by the Loyal Edmonton Regiment Military Museum and their sponsor, the Right Honourable Sir Winston Spencer Churchill Society of Edmonton. We are honoured to have dignitaries and special guests joining us in this ceremony. Captain Richard Dumas, Order of Military Merit as our presiding official. We are very honored to have the Lieutenant Governor in attendance this morning. Welcome to Her Honor, the Honourable Salma Lakhani. Master Warrant Officer Sheldon Quinn, Indigenous Co-Advisor to the Commander of the Canadian Army. The Honourable Ziad Aboultaif, MP for Edmonton Manning and member of the Standing Committee on Foreign Affairs and International Development. Ms. Lizette, Tejada, member of the Legislative Assembly of Alberta for Calgary-Klein, on behalf of Ms. Nicole Gehring, MLA for Edmonton Castle Downs. Mrs. Karen Principe, City Councillor for Ward Tastawinigyak. And as well, we have Constable Neil Muse from the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, Piper Sergeant Alex Sizo from the Loyal Edmonton Regiment, Master Warrant Officer Warren Rubin from the Loyal Edmonton Regiment, and Harpist, my apologies, Carrie Lynn Zwicker. Captain Dumas, in accordance with the provisions of the Citizenship Act, it is my privilege to present to you 38 candidates from 10 countries who have met all the requirements of the Citizenship Act and are ready to take the oath of citizenship, the final legal requirement to become a Canadian citizen. I now invite you to give your words of welcome and the land acknowledgement.
On behalf of the Government of Canada, I welcome you to your citizenship ceremony. I would like to acknowledge that this citizenship ceremony is taking place on traditional Treaty 6 territory. The land on which we are gathered is the traditional territory of the Cree, Nakota, Sioux, Dene, Métis, and Saulteaux nations. As Canadians, we're all living on traditional territory of Indigenous peoples. Following today's ceremony, I encourage you to do your own research about the territory you reside on and explore how you can honor Indigenous peoples in your own way as new Canadians. I would love to thank our dignitaries for taking time out of their very, very busy schedules, and our special guests from the Regiment and the Churchill Society for being here on this momentous day. We are honored that you were able to join us. Thank you.
Thank you, Captain Dumas. Now let me introduce you to one of our special guests. This is Master Warrant Officer Sheldon Quinn's 33rd year in the Canadian Armed Forces, having held progressively senior roles with 2nd Battalion Princess Patricia's Canadian Light Infantry, Canadian Forces Base Wainwright, and Canadian Forces Base Edmonton over the years. He has also been deployed to 7 operational tours, including Croatia, Bosnia, Afghanistan, and Latvia. Master Warrant Officer Quinn has instructed on the nationally renowned Bold Eagle program and has been a Canadian Armed Forces Eagle Staff Carrier since 2016. He was invested to the Order of Military Merit as a member in August 2021. In January 2023, he assumed the role of the Indigenous Advisor to the Commander of the Canadian Army. I would now like to welcome Master Warrant Officer Quinn to provide a traditional opening to our ceremony.
Your Honor, Lieutenant Governor Lakhani, Mr. Aboultaif, Ms. Goring, Ms. Tejada, Ms. Principe, and future citizens of Canada. Good morning. My name is Master Warrant Officer Sheldon Quinn. My traditional name is Kiyu Napu, which means Eagle Man in the Cree language. Welcome to Treaty 6 territory. I've been a serving member within the Canadian Armed Forces for 33 years. My current employment is as the Indigenous Co-Advisor to the Commander of the Canadian Army. I'm a member of Satellite Cree Nation right here in Treaty 6 territory. We all have a shared history to reflect on, as each one of us is affected by this history in different ways. Our past defines our future, and our past defines our present, and our present will define our future. So as we make commitments to walk to the path of reconciliation, I'd like to acknowledge that the land that we gather is the traditional meeting ground for many Indigenous peoples, including, like Rick said, the Cree, the Saulteaux, the Blackfoot, and the Nakota Sioux peoples. It's also the historic homeland of the Métis Nation. These nations have called this land for time immemorial. We recognize their strength and their wisdom, their stewardship of the land, the water, the surroundings, and affirm our commitment and responsibility in improving our relationships with the Indigenous people of this territory. As we make this journey toward reconciliation, may we always dwell together on these lands with peace, respect, and mutual understanding and prosperity. Future citizens of Canada, welcome to Canada.
Hi, Master Warrant Officer Quinn, for your words of wisdom. We are honored to have you here with us today. Captain Dumas, I now invite you to give your opening remarks.
In a few minutes, you will be sworn in as Canadian citizens. This is a proud moment for you. I'm honored to have the opportunity to speak to you directly and to congratulate you personally. This is a very special day for you. It's a milestone in your life. You have embraced this country, and now you're about to take this exciting next step. Each year, from November 5th to 11th, Canadians come together to commemorate Veterans Week, which culminates to Remembrance Day. This year marks the 75th anniversary of the United Nations peacekeeping. It is a time to honor the brave individuals that have served our country in the past and to recognize those who serve in uniform today. In my 42 plus years of service in the Canadian Army, I've seen the best and worst of humankind while serving in Cyprus, Bosnia, Afghanistan, and several domestic operations in Canada. 2 of 3 of my sons also answered the call to serve in Afghanistan. My family, like all military families, also sacrificed by having to grow up without a father and a spouse while dealing with the loneliness and desperate worry for several months running. What we all gained was a stronger love for one another, an appreciation for what Canada is, and the resilience to deal with the uncertainty and adversity as many of you have. Canadian veterans of all generations have earned their place in history, protecting and preserving all that is Canada, your new home by choice. When I first joined the Army at the tender young age of 17 years, I was fascinated by how regionally diverse Canadians were, given the vastness of our nation. We soon realized that, regardless of our individual backgrounds, we all shared the same goal, and that was to serve our country. Many of them went on to serve in over 24 different countries or failed states, suffering from oppression and persecution. In 1988, Canadians were included in receiving the Nobel Peace Prize, awarded to the United Nations for its decades of peacekeeping work. Between 1948 and 1988, Canada contributed 80,000 personnel. That's roughly 10% of the total UN peacekeeping forces. Also, imagine, so soon after the Second World War, war-weary Canadians once again stood out in the way of tyranny, arresting a bloody takeover of Korea. Under the fledgling United Nations, more than 26,000 Canadians served. From 1914 to 1953, a span of only 39 years, more than 107,000 Canadians were killed. 227,000 were wounded of those 1.5 million Canadians that served at a time when our population ranged from only 8 to 15 million people. Lest we forget, there were tens of thousands of Canadians that have no known grave, who were taken as prisoners of war, or who spent the rest of their lives living with mental and emotional wounds, which, by the way, took its toll on their families. This turbulent time frame marks Canada's birth as a nation and emerging as a middle power, with a great many growing pains. Canadians became stronger, more confident, better able to laugh at themselves, and better respected on the international stage. Our role during the Suez Canal crisis speaks to that as just one example, Lester B. Pearson winning the the Nobel Peace Prize. Subsequent generations of veterans have upheld the traditions of service and sacrifice since the World Wars, Cold War, Germany and France, Korea, Palestine, India, Pakistan, Vietnam, and now supporting Ukraine. The symbology of today's citizenship ceremony being conducted during Remembrance Week at this historic military venue, it's not lost. Canadian citizenship comes with rights and responsibilities. As a Canadian citizen, you live in a democratic country where individual rights and freedoms are respected. You have the right to vote and to run as a candidate in municipal, provincial, and federal elections. You are free to live and work in any province or territory. We have freedoms of expression, and in Canada, people are equal under the law, regardless of their gender expression or gender identity, race, religion, or culture. Canadian citizenship also comes with responsibilities like obeying the law, taking responsibility for oneself, one's family, perhaps serving on a jury, voting in elections, protecting and enjoying our heritage and environment, and helping others in the community. Canada is a bilingual country and has two official languages, French and English. Full disclosure, the last time I had a conversation in French was Casablanca. So if you hear something that doesn't sound right, it's because I picked up a French Moroccan accent. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Le Canada est un pays bilingue qui a deux langues officielles, le français et l'anglais. I got over my first hurdle. French is spoken across our country in many Francophone communities from across the country. According to Fédération de Communautés Francophones et Acadiennes, more than 2.5 million Canadians living outside Quebec also speak French. Also, according to the results of the 2021 National Census, over 10 million Canadians, that's approximately 30% of the population, speak French, one of Canada's two official languages. You have the right to be served in either official language when you deal with the federal government. Living in Canada, you have the opportunity to learn English and French, and I encourage you to do so. This will allow you to experience all that Canada has to offer. Linguistic duality is an integral part of Canadian identity and a fundamental value of our country. At this time, I would like now to invite the Lieutenant Governor, the Honourable Salma Lakhani.
I acknowledge all First Peoples who have called this place home for thousands of years and who welcomed us here to make our own lives. May we always dwell together on these lands with respect, understanding, and a sincere commitment to walking the journey of reconciliation and reconciliation alongside our Indigenous sisters and brothers. Platform party guests, distinguished guests here, and our future Canadians. Good morning, everyone. I'm very excited to share in this special ceremony to mark a particularly special chapter for our latest additions to our Canadian family. Chers nouveaux citoyens et citoyennes, bienvenue dans la famille. I understand what this day means to you as new Canadians. My husband and I arrived here in 1977 as stateless people, as refugees. And this is the story of so many Canadians who come to our country. Everyone has a story. Everyone has a journey that got them to this day. Some of the journeys, the stories are quite horrendous. But what I'd like to say to impress upon you is I came here 46 years ago as a refugee. Today, I'm standing in front of you, addressing you as Alberta's 19th Lieutenant Governor. This speaks to the story of Canada. I came here because the country I was born in and lived in, the president who came to power through a military-led coup, and I'm sure some of you are aware of what goes on in other countries, coups, military-led coups, and ousting of democratically elected leaders is quite common in some countries in the world. Thankfully not in Canada, that doesn't happen in Canada, but the president of the time decided that he did not want any people of South Asian origin, people who had their origins in India. So he gave us 3 months to pack what we could in a suitcase and leave the country, the only country we had known as home. And whilst the president, with his edict, took everything away from us, everything of material value, he could not take our lives. We were able to get out alive, and we were so grateful to make our way to this wonderful country that we are all so proud to call home, a place that opens its arms and encourages every citizen to dream and to succeed. My appointment as Canada's first Muslim, first South Asian, and first African-born vice-regal speaks to the story of Canada, to the essential values of diversity, inclusion, and pluralism that sit at the very heart of the Canadian ideal. As new citizens, you each have an important role to play in ensuring that the spirit of diversity continues to grow and evolve for the benefit of all Canadians. And remember that you, each one of you who will be taking the oath today, bring to this country your authenticity, your stories, your abilities, and your unique voices, all of which contribute to the greatness of this country. Aujourd'hui, vous vous joignez à notre famille et apportez votre culture, votre langue, votre foi, vos expériences et votre imagination. La diversité et l'essence du Canada est l'une de ses grandes forces. Nous avons besoin de vous. We need you. Your citizenship anniversary coincides with the upcoming Remembrance Day. Throughout the years, Canadians in uniform have bravely stepped forward to fight for the freedom of people at home and around the world. Because of their sacrifices, we are privileged to enjoy the gifts of peace, freedom, human rights, and the rule of law. In so many ways, the quality of life we are so blessed to enjoy here in Canada is a gift that they have given to us. We can show our gratitude to those who served and who are still serving and honor their legacies by committing to make the most of the gifts that they fought for through our own thoughtful citizenship. We must cherish the gifts of human rights and the rule of law that they fought so hard to protect and stand together against hatred and intolerance. And it is for us all to share in the collective responsibility of truth and reconciliation with our Indigenous sisters and brothers, and to make all our communities as vibrant, inclusive, and caring as they can be. I know that we can and will find ways to strengthen our country together. We can do this by listening to and learning from one another, and by each of us contributing the very best of who we are. I'm extremely hopeful for the future because of new Canadians like all of you who are present here today. To our new citizens, congratulations, félicitations, and heartfelt best wishes to you and your families for every possible success as you begin this exciting new chapter. And I'd also like to thank our presenters, our hosts, and our sponsors for making this ceremony possible and so special for all of our new Canadians. Thank you so much. Merci.
Thank you, Your Honor, Madame Lakhani and Captain Dumas, for that beautiful opening to our ceremony. We will now proceed with the oath of citizenship. All candidates who are 14 years of age and older are required to take the oath. If there is any doubt that you have taken the oath, you will not be called forward to receive your certificate today. Children under 14 years of age do not have to repeat the oath, but can if they wish. You must repeat the oath in English or French, or in both languages after the presiding official. You are encouraged to repeat it in both languages as a symbolic gesture of your commitment to respecting Canada's two official languages. The presiding official will start by saying, "I swear," but you have the choice of saying either "I swear" or "I affirm." Please pay close attention to the following instructions. You will repeat the words of the oath as a group, one sentence at a time, each time after the presiding official. Do not read the oath on your own. Will the candidates for citizenship please stand and raise your right hand in this manner? If you choose to swear the oath on the holy book, please place it in your left hand. If I could ask the candidates to please stand at this time. At this time, we invite all those in attendance here today to please stand, raise their right hand, and repeat the oath if you wish. It is a demonstration of your commitment to Canada, but it will not make you Canadian if you are not one already. If anyone else would like to please stand. Captain Dumas, the candidates for citizenship are now ready to repeat the oath of citizenship.
Please repeat after me. I swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty, King Charles III, King of Canada, His heirs and successors, and that I will faithfully observe the laws of Canada, including the Constitution, which recognizes and affirms the Aboriginal treaty rights of the First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples, and fulfill my duties as a Canadian citizen. And now in French, please repeat after me. Je jure que je serai fidèle I'm not the only one with a French Moroccan accent. Et porterai sincère allégeance à Sa Majesté, le roi Charles III, roi du Canada, à ses héritiers et successeurs, que j'observerai fidèlement les lois du Canada, y compris la Constitution, qui reconnaît et confirme le droit ancestral ou issu de traités des Premières Nations, des Inuits et des Métis, et que je remplirai loyalement mes obligations de citoyen canadien. You may lower your hand. Congratulations, félicitations, you are now Canadian. Vous êtes maintenant citoyen canadien.
Please be seated. We will now be proceeding with official congratulations. When I call your name, please come to the front. I will now call on a few of our special guests to give the congratulatory remarks. First, we welcome the Honourable Ziad Aboultaif, Member of Parliament for Edmonton Manning.
Thank you very much, Your Honour, colleagues, distinguished guests. New Canadians, congratulations. 29 years ago, I did the same ceremony at the Canada Place, and for me was a game changer, where I became Canadian, and I needed that passport at that time to travel and do business for Canada in the Middle East. It was an amazing moment, and if anything I can take, if anything I can take from being in Canada for 33 years, is this is a place that only few places in the world can offer what Canada can offer. So enjoy being Canadians and be proud to be Canadians. There's no other pride we can have other than being Canadians, for the respect that we get on the world stage, for the name that we've established for ourselves. We are the peacekeepers. We are the people that can put nations together. We are the multicultural society that we respect each other, understand each other, and living together to make Canada the best place in the world. So when some of us used to refer to Canada, they used to refer to Canada as a second home or the other home. I'm gonna say you have the old home, this is a new home. This is how we like to refer to Canada, because this is the recipe for success. One of the greatest personalities have said once, in order to show me your loyalty to the old home, show me your loyalty to the new home, then I believe you. My only message to you, that be loyal to Canada, be loyal to the new home, be loyal to this opportunity. This is a place of opportunity. I hope and I see that you're always going to be successful in Canada. Welcome to Canada, and thanks for giving me the opportunity to be here today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Aboultaif. Please welcome Ms. Lizette Tejada, Member of the Legislative Assembly of Alberta for Calgary-Klein, on behalf of Ms. Nicole Gehring, MLA for Edmonton Castle Downs.
Good morning, everyone. I'm so very honored to be here to celebrate with you your oath of citizenship. Today I bring greetings from the Leader of the Official Opposition, Rachel Notley, and my colleagues. Firstly, I'd like to acknowledge that we're gathered here today on the lands of the signatories of Treaty 6 and also the Métis people who share a lasting connection with this land. I am thankful and recognize this, and it's important to me to always acknowledge the land, also as a second-generation Canadian, the daughter of immigrants from El Salvador, and to recognize that we're all treaty people, and today you also become treaty people. So we're gathered here at the Prince of Wales Armouries and Heritage Centre, which has been home to the Loyal Edmonton Regiment and is dedicated to preserving its history. As we approach Remembrance Day, it's an important thing to recognize the countless men and women who have served our country to preserve our safety and security. For decades, they've made sacrifices in the name of our nation, and we're able to have this ceremony today because of them. So congratulations, félicitations, for taking this important step of becoming Canadian citizens. I know that this day will be one that you'll remember for many years to come. Citizenship is not only a legal formality, but a recognition that you belong here, that you are an important piece of the story of Canada and of your family's story in Canada. I like to think also, as the daughter of immigrants, that one day we will all become someone's Canadian ancestor. As Canadian citizens, we're fortunate to live in a place where our rights are enshrined in law, and we can expect to have them respected. We also hold the powerful and important responsibility of participation in democracy, and we do this by voting, speaking up about what matters to us, and staying informed about the political process. Alberta's legislature needs your vision and perspective. As a member of this legislature, please know that we are always here to listen and to serve you. We will always be here to work towards a better life for everyone for generations to come. Today we celebrate, and tomorrow we continue to build a strong Alberta together. On behalf of Alberta's Leader of the Official Opposition, Rachel Notley, and my new Democrat Caucus colleagues, welcome home. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Tejada. I now call on today's presiding official, Captain Richard Dumas, to give his closing remarks.
You're not getting tired of seeing me, are you? So, quick question, Lizette. Flames fan or Oilers fan? Careful how you answer.
You know, I was born in Edmonton, so I feel like I have dual citizenship.
So then you're going to want to talk to Ziad about that conflict. Around this time of year, in 2021, I hosted a reunion with my Afghan interpreter, including 4 other Canadian veterans that served with him throughout different tours of duty. Sangin served the Canadian Army for 3 years, which represents 6 combat tours. And trust me, he saw his share of fighting. Before that, he served with the Brits, French, and Americans. In 2012, he came to Canada with nothing to support his young wife, a 2-year-old, and a 6-month-old child. He worked hard to get his high school diploma. He delivered pizzas while earning his electrician papers. He worked part-time jobs while starting up his own business. Today, he owns his own home and has since helped 4 other families as a guarantor within his community. The support goes beyond lodging, etc. He sought out local business and client sponsorship to help many others. Leading up to our reunion, a few of us were assisting him with bringing his own family to Canada. In August 2021, his family finally arrived. For 45 days, there were 19 people living in his house as he commenced with a myriad of personal administration. Later, he would start up a fish and chips business for the single purpose of employing some of his family. No other reason. Jokingly, I told him that he and I had more in common than met the eye. The first of my family set foot in Montreal from wartime France in 1666, 200 years before Confederation. Like Sangin and Mina, they too had left a very difficult life for a much, much better one, though there was a great deal of hardship and uncertainty to come. Fast forward 13 generations later, my granddaughters as Franco-Canadians in Alberta will be finding their way during their adolescence, much in the same way you are now. To quote Oscar Wilde, "Experience is the hardest kind of teacher. It gives you the test first and the lesson afterward. Mistakes will be made, obstacles encountered, but the reward is worth it." I leave you now with my sincere and warmest wishes for a long, peaceful, and prosperous life in this your chosen land. I encourage you to get in touch with your family and friends to celebrate your great achievement. It's been quite the journey. Congratulations and welcome to the Canadian family. Félicitations et bienvenue dans la grande famille canadienne. I'd also like to take the time out for acknowledgement. A heartfelt and many thanks to everyone from the Platform Party for their exceptional role in welcoming new Canadians. Thank you. I'd also like to acknowledge and thank the Sir Winston Spencer Churchill Society of Edmonton for their sponsorship. They are extraordinary volunteers in that they promote leadership, citizenship, and in Edmonton through sponsorship and competitions. I'd like to thank the Loyal Edmonton Regiment and its Military Museum for hosting, and to the many, many volunteers that this special event needed. We've also a treat for you at the reception. There's going to be the wonderful music provided by the lovely Carrie Lynn Zwicker with snacks and refreshments. Just listen up to the piper and he'll lead the way. It's on the other side of the building. Thanks again.
Thank you so much, Captain Dumas. To the new Canadians today, you will be singing "O Canada" for the very first time as a Canadian citizen. Pardon me. This is now your national anthem. Sing it with pride. We will be singing a bilingual version that you may choose to sing in English or French or bilingually. I would ask you to please all rise for the singing of our national anthem. Let me present to you Master Warrant Officer Warren Rubin from the Loyal Edmonton Regiment to sing the national anthem.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. Cotton porte il se porte la croix, ton travail tu ne peux pas des plus brillants exploits. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Bravo! On behalf of IRCC, congratulations to the new Canadians, and thank you to everyone who contributed to this ceremony, including our special guests. It was a delight to have you all here with us. Special thank yous to the host of today's ceremony, the Loyal Edmonton Regiment Military Museum, and their sponsor, the Right Honourable Sir Winston Spencer Churchill Society of Edmonton.
The citizenship ceremony is now closed. Please remain standing for the exit of the Vice-Regal Party, followed by the rest of the platform party.